Okay, after the melder is done making all his stuff there, after making all the weapons and armor for the entire army, about 20 of the soldiers go with the destroyer and the corruption person. The girl joins them to help heal the corruption person because, you know, he expends a lot of energy doing the blood bottles things to help corrupt all of them. And then the one guy that was helping out with the random sword of Darkrai that he summoned that stabbed 3 people, he abandoned them, but the sword was still following along. But they do need the guy in order to use the sword, so when they get there, there's a freaking army of 1,000 strong just coming out of this castle of sorts. The Bender summons a freaking big barricade. He's like, okay, hold on, go find the guy so we can at least get the turn of tide of wars right here. We need him because the Bloodbender right here, he can't, well, blood spiritual person can't do anything to these people since they're strong. He can weaken them a little bit, but he can't turn them, he can't corrupt them enough without them being hurt first, because he pulls their blood too. It has to infect them of sorts. And since they have helmets, it's not like they're going to get in their mouth, really. So, okay, the destroyer person is the one saying all this. But the one guy that could help out is now gone. And the destroyer says, okay, if I blow up these walls, we are screwed. So go find that one dude. I don't know what the hell his name was. Just go find him. He can help out immensely. So one soldier leaves, goes, finds him. And by the time he finds him and coming back, the first wall is destroyed. The destroyer person summons another wall. And then he's like just hitting little boulders out and just trying to keep people back far away as much as possible. Summons it up another wall. And he's just like boom, 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 boom. Creating little earthquakes, trying to stagger them, however, until they get back. By the time they get back, the Bloodbender's fully... Why do I keep saying... He's a spiritual user, so he's a blood shooter of sorts. He's just getting recharged by the scroll, just tapping him on the shoulder. He's getting full health, and the Bender is really out of energy at this point. So, he's like, says sorry to one of the soldiers, touches him, absorbs a little bit of their energy. Doesn't kill him, but absorbs a little bit out, so they're down. And then, in order to destroy stuff, he expends a bit of his energy, but bending up the walls takes a little bit of nothing. So, yeah. So this little coward of the guy comes back that can barely help out. I was like, grab that damn sword, grab the sword, and help us. Just grab it. That is all you have to do. And focus on staggering people. You don't need to try. On staggering people there. And we can win this. Yes, I know there's only like 23 of this, but we got this. Yeah, I know there's 1,000. Shut up, you little wuss. Okay. So the destroyers there just ends up blowing up the big wall, throws the person into the middle there, and just says, have fun. And this guy's like, with the little sword at hand. The sword invokes him. He gets Skimna's energy into his mind. And then you just hear, then you see some of the flesh falling off of this guy's face. Just a little bit, though. Not much. Just Skimna's spikes are coming out the side right there. Poison leaking out. And then there's just a freaking poison pool around this guy, hurting about hundreds of these people. And they can't move. They're like trying to help out. Of course, their army has no healers whatsoever, so they're at the disadvantage right now. So it is pretty helpful at this point that this guy doesn't know what the hell is happening. So he pretty much, the sword is taking control of his body, and his abilities are just taking over. He's turning into the skeletal form of Skimna. And oh my gosh, it is awesome. At this point in my dream, it's just everyone's getting poisoned, everything's doing there, and then the Bloodbender, blood spiritual user, gets one stick. He does have to have something in order to do these abilities, and I forgot to mention that, but he does. So he just grabs a stick off the ground, aims it in the air, and this big old explosion. You see blood going out of these guys that have little cuts on them, going up into the air, and then you just see it raining their life force essentially onto everyone else that is partially hindered, and then they are just fighting each other, and then the destroyer's like, okay, we got this. We need about 5 of you to go get the proper wooden weapons, because, trust me, they're going to become Flursick wood. And the rest of you that are here, we need archers. So anyone that's archers, start throwing your stuff. Help out. I know there's 1,000 of us and 20 of us, but we got this. We got this. Trust us. Well, I will invoke your spirits. And there's another thing that the blood guy there can do. He can make you stronger from their will. So, we're good. We are good. So, you just see the blood guy. First time that I actually saw him go in the middle of the battle there, and just see him touch into the ground where the acid is, and just take out his hand and go fling, fling, hards him into his spikes there, and he just starts spinning around doing all these shots there. And then anyone that gets touched by it starts fighting for him. They don't know what the hell they're doing. He's not like doing any physical damage to him. He's just making them fight for him. And he's like, try to hit me. So someone tries to hit him, and the blade just phases through his body. Go. But yeah, so phases through him. Nothing could hurt him. If it's metal-wise, it actually evaporates going through him and just disappears. One thing about Otto, he hates metal, so he has an ability that destroys metal when it touches him. I don't know, these people on Flursick, a form of Flursick wood is supreme. Metal's down here, but it's still a viable weapon, you know. If they're from Earthrealm, they don't know, so they just used what they had. So they're getting there. It takes them quite a while to defeat everybody, but they essentially, more than 500 of the people starts fighting for them. They overtake the castle, and they look at the third land, which is a fire, like, it's a pretty much a mountain just covered in fire. And then you see fire elementals walking out of it, burning everything there. And by this time, they're just strategizing what to do. The 5 people brought back at least 30 or so for Flursick wooden swords, a few bows, a couple seeds for unlimited ammo because they could form arrows as they're going, and some of them get poisoned along the way, and they could actually form more trees if shot a couple times the correct way. So these 3 Ottos are teaching these people how to do stuff. The one that stays here, though, to keep hold of this castle and keep everyone sending one out, is the destroyer, because he's a good commander. So the blood person is the only one that goes into battle, so he's like charging up with this poison. The girl's there with him. The pretty much guy taken over by Skimna's living force now is with him as well. So he only takes a couple hundred people from the 500 that was left over, their original 20, since they've now learned stuff, and some of their armor's invoked with the light energy of the healer, so they have good protection and they're constantly getting health just from moving around. They go into the fireplace and they learn something new about the Flursick wood. When it gets hit by fire, it takes on the properties of fire, so they're like nullifying all damage from fire. That's just walking there. They haven't even met any of the elemental beings, which are called green trails. They haven't faced off against any of them yet, but they're pretty intimidated what they look like. Some look like they're moving boulders of flame. Some look like they're just embers going la la la, just moving through the air rapidly fast. There's even a freaking dragon there that looks pretty intense, made out of pure fire there. Its scales looks pretty much like charcoal across the belly going through its throat there. And then you just see them true fangs just to the side right there to grasp onto stuff. Then its wings are made out of freaking pure energy that's pretty much turning into lightning to keep it ascended. Yes, I know. It's pretty. They could just use fire. I don't know why I wanted to get lightning there too, but that made it all the more scary. So the blood guy's getting there. He's like, okay, how the hell can I infect Ringtrells? He has poison infected into his closet. He could poison stuff with. Ringtrells are technically immune to a lot of physical attacks, but they are not immune to poisons and other elements. Like wood, for instance, could actually hurt them. But since the wood, as soon as it hurts them, is also taking on fire, it's pretty much just nullifying each other. So the only way they can do this is if they could try to corrupt the fire people themselves. That being said, though, apparently it's pretty damn hard to corrupt them. This guy, the blood dude, the Otto that's following him there, is freaked out a little bit. He's usually not. It's an Otto, of course. They each have their own personalities, even though they're stemming from the same person. Their emotions can't get the better of them. They have different traits and stuff like that. So, the blood guy's there. He's like, oh, okay, blood essentially could be turned into water if I do it the right way. He's like, wait a second, all those dead bodies right there. He asked the Bender, through a telepathic link, if he could send some of the dead bodies his way. The ones that haven't corroded away through all the acid and poison that's left on the battlefield. And then he's like, I'm going to use blood as water and try to weaken these people. So this guy sends, like, the other, like, out of the other 500 that died in the battle, there's, like, maybe 200 of them left. Maybe I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention. Damage. He sends them over there, and you just see the blood warrior of sorts just go stab, 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 stab with his fingers, charging the energy, and then just like doing this thing there, and you just see the blood focusing in his hand instead of ball into the air that he usually just does that. And he does this movement there. You see his entire arm just turn freaking red. And then you just see him focus it out like this. And it essentially looks like he's about to do a Shizton key blast, if you ask me. Not saying, just referencing. You know, and then he just goes 1, 2, does like Shizton shots, which stuns pretty much their entire army. Then the rest of his hand, he aims up into the air and shoots at the dragon that's in the air. They're called Gondre. So this is the range from Gondre. He just shoots at it, and it just falls down to the ground. He goes over, taps on the head, and says, "You're mine now." And then the Gondre just turns around, looks out the Ringtrell armies, and he just starts devouring people. And he looks up, "Okay, Queenie, get your butt down here. I didn't even need these other 500 losers." So, and then the guy that's invoked by Skimna Spirit is getting pissed off. Well, one thing you need about Skimna, he hates Ringtrells. Like, immensely hates Ringtrells. There's like their rivalry going against them. So so this guy's like, "Hey, I want a piece of this action." And he just goes there, and then this Skimna dude's just dashing up the tower, just pushing freaking Ringtrells out of the way. They're scared silly. I would be too. So just pushing him out of the way. The Blood Warriors following along. Goes up the mountain there, and goes up just straight up where she's standing, and then it's like a volcano up top. So looks up, "Okay, Queenie, well, you don't look like a Maride, so I'm not scared of you." Then that's what the blood person's saying, the Otto. Then the Skimna-esque person's like there. "Damn, this body sucks. Oh, yeah, you really don't look like a Maride." And then the blood warrior's like, "Oh my gosh, where's my healer?" And of course, this guy's following me up. "Yeah, where's my healer?" So the girl that was there is now like just trying to dash up this mountain to help heal the guy, and the dragon just, without trying to hurt her since it was made out of pure fire, focuses its scales on top of its body, makes her hop on like a saddle of sorts, and then just flies up there, drops her off, and then she lands right on top of Otto. Full body embrace, essentially, and fully healed. And he's like, okay, Chica, thank you. And looks at the Queenie. This land's mine now. Skimming the person. Yeah. I'm not even going to kill you since you don't look like Mcline. Mcline is essentially the rain trail of rain trail. She is the goddess of sorts. I'm not even going to kill you. So, peace out. That was essentially the end of my dream right there, was them taking over that last land. It just concluded right there. I wanted to see more, but I didn't get to. Yeah, I thought it was pretty enjoyable for me. I know I probably didn't explain that much. I'm still half awake after all. But again, I enjoyed it. If one of you enjoys it. And Flursick is a game I made, so my dreams sometimes invoke that. If you have any questions about Flursick, just ask me anything. It's a pretty fun game, close to D&D-esque playstyle, but not quite. So, peace out. Andrew here, also known as Otto Man or Dragvilo or anything like that. Peace. Have a nice day.